So, we're back with this event, Should You Roll? Phantom Thief Edition TM. And while my and many others' expectations of these banners were, let's just say, rather mixed, there was still one very important factor to the equation called collab characters. And that's the staple to everything Persona 5 related, the all-out attack. But that's not actually the only mystery regarding these characters. As before we can jump right into checking out our new Phantom toys, we do have to talk about something very confusing. But before we actually do that, let me thank my channel members. Thank you guys so much for supporting me, and of course an extra huge shoutout to the Grand Warlock. Back to finally stealing something, in this case probably your wallet, as most of these characters are somewhat better than expected, especially the main star of this collab, who is the literal main character of the game, Joker. Why? Because Turdog lied to us. Yes, that's right. This is the very first time the preview shown didn't match the actual skill set in-game. To be more specific, Joker's active is almost completely different, which is actually a huge upgrade for him. And while you could definitely say that this is a last surprise for the collab, it's a bit annoying that our dear Phantom Dog starts to get even sloppier and more unreliable as time goes on. But let's get away from all the drama and focus on the one truly important thing. AKA, is Joker worth getting? Well, his skill, which already seemed like a core piece to achieving a fast all-out attack, is even stronger now, as it now has the ability to triple target stacks instead if you didn't use the skill the round before while it was ready, and a far more crucial addition to his overall performance, his skill's damage scaling with the enemy size, making this even outside the whole AoA gimmick a very potent high damage low CD skill damage nuke versus 4-tile foes and co, which definitely helps as his chain and normal attack output is rather okay at best. And I'm not joking around here when I say you never saw all of this coming, because, well, you didn't, as Turdog did an oopsie like I mentioned earlier, which surely will happen never again. Similar to, let's say, the not really appearing Beth rerun. I guess when they said throwback, they really meant a throwback to 2024 or something. And that's actually also something that matters when talking about these characters, as not only Joker, but also the rest of the crew is extremely exclusive and potentially will never come back. So that's definitely one thing to keep in mind when deciding to roll for them or not. But in the case of the Phantom of the Opera, that's not the only thing, as he's now with these additions not only a core piece to be fair, still a very memey full Persona team, but also in general a very strong mobbing option for Fire, which we didn't really have before, at least by far not that good, as the all-out attack is truly going all out, delivering decent damage with no weak state and 1 thief, pretty good one with the weak state and 1 thief, and crazy one with 2+ thieves in your team. But spoiler alert, that's not really going to happen, because it's just way more efficient to just use Joker in this case, as with the ability to double or triple stacks, he can steal the hearts of enemies with ease, making them weak to his every move in only on average 4 rounds, which is not too bad for an around 50k field-wide nuke on a 3-turn CD, meaning the all-out attack is literally just free real estate, giving Joker even more tools to clear enemy waves, making me give him a strong rating, with a recommendation to get him if you want to, as he is definitely not needed, and he's also not completely broken, he's not a must-have, but he's definitely looking cool. And I'm not saying that because he stole my heart, unlike his banner-sharing partner in crime, aka the second Phantom Thief we're going to talk about today, Violet, who's unfortunately a lot worse than I could imagine, as the weak status will take a while to get to, and even though her Q buff seems pretty insane on paper, it is just ruined by her overall own damage output being absolutely abysmal. Plus, she has a column chain and a not that great skill, meaning the only positives here are the fact that she's best girl and that she's sharing the element with the most potent AoA user, Joker. That's literally her only saving grace, helping Joker getting to the AoA slightly faster, and even that is honestly just massive amounts of copium. So let's make this quick. Violet is sadly on her own only about average, and this might be cope, but let's just say she's solid in combination with Joker. And let's now move on quickly to our next candidate, Fox, who is, after testing him for a while, actually a lot better than I personally thought. That's right, I guess you could say I had a change of heart. You can laugh now. Because this is actually pretty funny, as Fox might just be one of the best budget DPS characters in the water element. And why is that the case? Well, because his MLG triple hit plus decent base stats already make him outdamage the lower end of the higher tier water spectrum, especially as someone like Sharona and also Korax don't have the greatest chains, which they definitely do make up for with their utility, don't get me wrong, but when it comes to just going monkey flip, I want to see big numbers, Fox actually comes out on top, thanks to not only the aforementioned, but also the all-out attack. So if you don't want utility and just damage, use Fox if you don't have another top tier option. It's just that easy. And even though I still hate the fact that he's a column chain, we do have to ask the all-important question. Is he worth rolling for? That might be unexpected, but no. For the very simple reason that you can just pick him from the box and also should do that. So in the case you didn't get him in the 320, just get Fox from the box. But if we ignore the potential free copy, yes, he's sadly worth getting. So for all 7 Fox fans out there, rejoice, he is pretty strong. And now we can finally move on to the final Persona 5 collab character, Queen, who already before didn't seem too bad, but considering her competition, she still has a lot to learn. What do I mean? Well, in a vacuum, Queen is actually incredibly solid, even really strong. Problem here is that she's also haunted by the general Persona collab curse. No, not that one. I mean the fact that they're all damage dealers with no utility at all, which means that her damage has to be literally insane for her to be worth picking over already existing alternatives. And while she might come close as her Korax-like attacks feature no RNG at all, there is still one problem left. Her skill is only decent, and even the all-out attack makes her at best on par with her Queen. And while that is already quite the achievement, if you think about that for a second, you will see that we have another Yao situation on our hands. And while Queen is far better in that aspect, only being on par is not enough to justify possibly having not only your heart stolen, but also your wallet, as Requiem is pretty much completely free. So when it comes to raw DPS, you're pretty much already set from the get-go in the thunder element, meaning that while Queen is pretty strong, she's in my eyes not worth rolling for. Unless of course you're a huge Persona fan like me, or just into questionable clothed girls stepping on you. I'm not judging. But what I will judge is the overall worth of these two banners. So, should you roll? Both 6 stars are pretty good, but not really needed. Fox might be the overall highlight for all free-to-plays out there, but he's basically just free, so overall, my opinion remains the same. I would still not recommend you to roll in any of these 2 banners with your own resources, unless you really like those thieves or are into collecting all potentially good fire characters. But if you really have to roll, just do it on the Queen banner, as both characters are good, both duplicates are preemptive, aka never really bad, but that was now really everything from me. So now it's your turn. Tell me in the comments if you rolled for any of these characters, and if yes, what do you think about them? Also don't forget to hit that like and sub, and have a nice day, and see you next time.